Hi there, it's a cold, damp, horrible bank holiday weekend here in Sheffield in the UK, and what better time to give you something to set your brain, I wouldn't say on fire, but warm it up a bit. So there's something practical that I want to share with you a little bit later, but I want to tease you a little bit first. Now here's a puzzle that I was set, in fact was set quite a while ago. I'll tell you a bit more later. It is a little contrived, but imagine that you have a pair of nice fluffy bunny rabbits. They're young bunny rabbits, not long born, nice and fluffy. You have a pair, one boy, one girl. Now, in a month's time, when they've grown up a bit, they are ready to reproduce and do what rabbits obviously do. So imagine that in a month's time, that pair of rabbits, they have a pair of rabbits themselves, one boy, one girl. And in a month's time, they'll be ready to reproduce. And then the pattern continues. Every month, an adult pair of rabbits produce one boy, one girl rabbit. And then those in turn grow up, and a month later, those in turn can reproduce. Now, the question actually is, after 12 months, how many pairs of rabbits do you actually have? You could work it down with pen and paper, and it would take you a long time. You'd probably make the odd mistake, but hey. But it's an interesting concept. In fact, if you worked out the number of pairs of rabbits, you would actually come up with the following sequence of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and so on. In fact, 144 is the answer. That's what would happen after 12 months. You'd have 144 pairs of rabbits. Now, people who recognize that number sequence will actually recognize it as the start of a Fibonacci sequence. And this is because this puzzle, if you like, was first considered in the 12th century by Leonardo Fibonacci. It's an interesting sequence of numbers because if you divide the one number in the sequence by its previous number, you'll get a number which is approximately 1.6, and the further you go down the sequence, the closer the approximation is to what we now know as the golden ratio. That's a number it's understood by designer and architects to produce the most pleasing designs, the most pleasing aspects to the eye. People now use it for photography and modelling agencies to find the most pleasing faces. Designers use it for buildings and other things. Car designers use it for proportions of cars. It is quite an important sequence. In fact, the Fibonacci sequence is often found in nature, particularly the way petals are arranged on flowers. You can look it up and you can find lots of information. I used this recently because it's a great example of introducing curiosity, so that if you're teaching people and they become a little bit curious, they want to know more. So you could use it if you were teaching mathematics or design. But that's not the real reason I'm telling you about fluffy bunny rabbits and the Fibonacci numbers. It's because I took part in a very interesting workshop, and it was to do with drawing. The person who took it was a fine artist, and what she actually did was she got us to just draw things that were close by, and she gave us a minute to draw something. And then the next time we drew something, she gave us 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and 8 minutes, and so on. Each time, the length of time we had to draw was the next number in the Fibonacci sequence. And it sounds like a silly exercise, but reflecting on it all back at the end, everybody came to the same conclusion. It was really strange. We all noticed that progressing through that sequence, it's almost like a warm-up. We found that what happened was we actually noticed more. We didn't get any better at drawing. I mean, maybe we would if we carried on. But what happened was we noticed more. We saw more detail. We actually noticed things rather than just looked at them. And that is all down, in theory, to those magic numbers. Something in nature causes something interesting to happen when we use them. So that's something you could try if you're working with people, particularly if you're drawing, but you could be practicing something else. Use the numbers in the Fibonacci sequence and see what happens. But also, it's something that's worth looking at, arousing people's curiosity. And even if you don't use the Fibonacci sequence, find something else when you're teaching somebody or you're lecturing somebody or you're showing somebody. Find something interesting that grabs their attention. So enjoy the rest of the weekend and try out those Fibonacci numbers. Bye for now.